ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Curbing infections in San Diego's vulnerable communities. The county irons out a plan to move us forward. Meantime, the FDA slows down vaccine approval. The new guidelines, experts say, could set our recovery back. Plus, the strategies on deck at tonight's first and only vice presidential debate. But first, contact tracing is underway in the state's capital after two staffers close to Governor Gavin Newsom test positive for coronavirus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Today, we learned a staff member in the governor's office and a state employee who works nearby tested positive earlier this week. The office will not reveal where they worked. The governor's office says neither person had interacted with Newsom or his close staff.
It's just another reminder of how easily transmitted this disease is, and how, despite some of the good news on our positivity rates and some of the stability we're seeing in our case rates across this state, how virulent this disease remains and how easily transmittable this disease continues to be.
The governor's office says shared spaces are being deep cleaned and workers are in isolation. Newsom says that most state government employees are still working from home. The county just wrapped up its weekly update on the state of the coronavirus across San Diego. And today's focus was on a third metric the county needs to work on before moving into a less restrictive tier known as the equity metric. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live with how this could prolong reopening the economy here. Anthony.
Kimberly, the county today pointed out that this new metric does not play a factor in moving San Diego County back to a more restrictive tier, but it does play a role in moving San Diego County forward to a less restrictive tier. County health officials today at the news conference said that they will get a template today for a plan that must be submitted to the state next Thursday. The plan and goal is to reduce high infection rates in disadvantaged communities. The county says from the start of the pandemic, they've been paying attention to communities that may have limited resources, focusing on outreach and education, testing, contact tracing, and isolation and quarantine support, but said that they believe more can still be done.
And so what we're fighting against is generations of folks not having access to health care. What we're fighting against is an environment that was created pre-COVID where a lot of communities in San Diego don't trust government agencies and government entities. And so I think it is certainly possible that we can make it better.
Now, the county says that the state will be releasing what they call a playbook with guidelines regarding the new health equity metric, and that is expected to be released on Monday. We're reporting live, Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Anthony. And we are later in this newscast going to look at FDA vaccine guidelines as well. But right now, stocks close near session highs today after President Trump reversed course on stimulus talks. But financial relief from the government still appears unlikely. Last night, the president tweeted that he would support certain stimulus measures, including another round of stimulus checks and help for the airline industry. That was hours after announcing all negotiations had been called off. Democrats are saying they want to move forward with a broader stimulus package. And meantime, we are less than 2 hours away from the first and only vice presidential debate. With 27 days left until the election, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris will make their cases under extraordinary circumstances. ABC's Zoreen Shah is in Salt Lake City with the important questions that we are expecting tonight.
What was initially a point of contention between the candidates has now resolved. Two plexiglass barriers are now in place on the stage, separating Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence. The Commission on Presidential Debates granted Harris's request to install them following the White House's COVID-19 outbreak. Pence's team at first did not support the idea, but then got on board. A debate before the actual debate for two candidates who both have ample experience on the national stage.
And Donald Trump's entire career has been about building.
If we don't get Donald Trump out of office, he's going to get rid of all of it.
Campaign officials say Harris will speak directly to the American people, and though she will not, quote, eviscerate the vice president, she's prepared to go head to head.
We know Mike Pence is a very good debater. He's a very skilled debater, and he gets a lot of credit because he speaks in complete sentences, unlike Donald Trump.
Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi has been playing Harris for Pence's debate prep, telling Fox News he is prepared.
You know, she can pore over briefing books all day long to learn about policies, but he's lived them for the past 3.5 years and done an amazing job for the American people.
Meanwhile, voters making it clear that COVID-19 is at the top of their minds.
I would crawl over broken glass to replace this president.
You know, trust health professionals and trust the president. I don't think he wishes Americans to just die.
ABC News political director Rick Klein says the stakes couldn't be higher.
But they're actually different for both campaigns. Right now, the Biden-Harris ticket is leading. They want to do their best to protect that lead. And for Pence, he knows that he and his running mate, Donald Trump, need to get back in this game.
Another example of why the stakes are so high, according to a recent CNN SSRS poll, 15% of Americans don't know who Kamala Harris is or don't have an opinion on her. 13% of Americans don't know who Mike Pence is or don't have an opinion on him, and he's been our vice president for 4 years. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Salt Lake City.
You can watch the vice presidential debate tonight at 6 o'clock right here on ABC 10. And the San Diego Unified School District is defending its decision to remove a letter from President Trump from boxes of distributed food. Well, the letter came with free groceries from the federal government's Farmers to Family program. The boxes are distributed by school districts nationwide, and the letter says to consider wearing a facial covering. The district says it conflicts with the state mandate.
In the Unified, we insist that we want to protect our families. We want to help feed them, but we don't want to make them sick. We want to help them and not hurt them. And it's been demonstrated over and over again that if you wear a mask, you can help protect someone. That's why we are taking that letter out of the box, because it does indicate that it's optional, and that's not true for the San Diego Unified School District.
The letter also states that people who feel sick should stay home, and it recommends social distancing and hand washing. The city is one step closer to spending $106 million to house homeless in hotels. ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle takes us into the City Council committee meeting where neighbors weren't thrilled about the idea.
Since the pandemic, downtown has been different.
I would encourage all of you to walk around downtown so you can see just how safe and livable it is at the moment.
That was Marshall Anderson with the San Diego Downtown Partnership. He's referring to 1,000 homeless people housed in the convention center.
For too long, downtown has acted as the region's homeless shelter. It's nice to see another neighborhood bearing some of the responsibility for sheltering our most vulnerable.
Anderson was talking about the city's plan to buy 2 residents in hotels, one in Kearny Mesa, the other in Mission Valley, to house some of the homeless from the convention center. Though neighbors in those areas aren't excited about the plan.
It's a bad idea. I'm absolutely opposed to this project.
My real concern, obviously, is the safety of my community, but also for the safety of the potential residents. I'm just opposed to this idea because it doesn't seem practical for the city, and I feel like it opens the city up to a lot of liability in terms of motorists or pedestrian accidents.
The hotels would provide enough room for more than 400 people and cost $106.5 million, according to the Housing Commission.
And I am also a yes. So items 1 and 2 both passed unanimously.
The Committee for Public Safety and Livable Neighborhoods passed the item in their meeting Wednesday. The item will now go before the full council October 13th. Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.
Golden Hall will reopen, housing nearly 570 people. This with the goal of emptying the convention center by December so it can reopen to events when it is safe.